we're going to learn curvilinear perspective. It's pretty cool stuff. This is sort of a rough, fun sketch I did using curvilinear. You're basically doing a fisheye design in a ball. This was kind of fun to do. It's kind of a nice meditative, surprisingly relaxing piece of art to do. Skip over the 3-point perspective, and another one where I kind of did some buildings and little sort of streets kind of a thing. So the first trick is, and I think a lot of people struggle with trying to draw the circle. So basically we're going to do a circle, and then we're going to draw something with 5 vanishing points. So there are some different ways to do the circle. I'm going to offer you the best. If you want to do something small, or if you find something like this that's really big, that will help, and just trace them. If you have a protractor. Protractors are those kind of V-shaped things, and you know there's a point in the center, and then on the other point you can put your pencil or pen and then create a circle. I no longer have one of those. I generally just draw circles using, I wing it. I wing it with these ones. And of course the most popular way is to find something round. So this happens to be a very lightweight art plate. Yeah, I've got some art in it, but you can basically, if you hold it still, the trick to doing this well, oh, I had another idea for you too, but it's very complex to do a string around 2 pencils and sort of move your circle around it. This, far easier. The trick is to make sure this doesn't move and to keep your pencil sort of on the same angle as you go around. Make sure we're in a good spot here. So trying to keep it sort of very upright. There, we've got a pretty good circle. What can happen sometimes is if you get an angle and then you go in close and then you get another angle, the circle is not too bad, but it's a little bit off. So if for precision's sake, you want to just try and keep your pencil upright. You can use anything, a bowl, anything that's round. Excuse me. And then we're basically going to figure out sort of the center. Easiest way is to measure. So we're 7 1/4 inches from here to here. Right. So 3 1/2 is the middle of 7. So 1/8 is the middle of 1/4. So there we are for that. And it should be the same here. So that should be our center. I'm going to try and keep this, at least for me, it's fairly even. The camera might be a little bit askew. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first step was to get the circle. Second step was to find your center so that you find your 5 vanishing points. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but you do want to start off being fairly accurate. And I'm not going to bother numbering these vanishing points, right? As long as you can see them, the dots. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, actually maybe the best way to do it here is, we can go metric, 9. So maybe 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So I'm just trying to get like an even measurement across here. So 8, that gives us 2 on either side here. All right. So what we're doing is these are not going to be straight lines, they're going to be curved. I happen to be a very scratchy drawer. And this requires a bit of winging it. However, on your worksheet, I do have some grids for you to work within if that's easier. It never hurts to try and do this on your own though. There we go. And they don't have to be dark. You don't actually want them to be dark. This is basically the grid or the framework you're going to work within. There we go. So we've done this one way, and now we're going to do it this way. Now you can do what I've done, especially if you're not sure about eyeballing things with the measurement, and I think I'm just going to leave should be the same measurement, ruler in place here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Doesn't have to be exact. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a little off in the middle, which is perfectly fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See, it's just a little bit off from the 2 in the middle, but that's perfectly fine. All right. We have our curvilinear grid. Some of you might just want a whole break just from drawing all that. It's complex. So now the next fun is you have to decide what it is you want to draw. In this case, I think I'm going to do something along the lines of our three-dimensional town here. So, and you can see I've got my 4 points, my 4 vanishing points, and then I've left in the sketch sort of the sketch lines of the center vanishing point. And I've used the grid to sort of create a town. So what might be helpful, and to make it easier for you to follow along, is I'm going to draw sort of maybe a little town map. I just want to make sure I'm getting it in the film and I'm not behind my little bubble over there. So let's say we could do just a backyard with a pool. How's that? So we can do a house with a garage, right? Garage, driveway, I don't know how the roof would go. Maybe some plants, some trees, a fence, have a nice back deck, maybe with some plants in here. Barbecue, and we can see that. We could have a nice table for the family and some chairs. I'm sure you wouldn't know what I was drawing if I didn't tell you. And then a few steps down in a pool. This kidney-shaped pool, maybe not that big. they might need a hot tub. And maybe we can make the deck go right up to the pool. Maybe stairs here, big stairs all the way. Hot tub, table. So you could count this as dreaming maybe. I don't know. Dreaming's good. Got some foliage out there. Some nice yard space, place for the dog to run. Another pool. And then the rest can be fence. How's that? Okay, so we have a plan. And I'm going to just get a sharper pencil here. All right, so I'm going to start with my house here. And let me see. It's probably in the middle of our little design here. The house part. I think I want to move it down here though. So I'm going to make this my house. Right here. Not quite up on the grid. Now here's the fun part. We're going to make it three-dimensional in a nice fisheye lens sort of way. So this is my house, and I'm winging it here, as I want you to do as well. And that's going to be, you can use your rulers. I think if I use a ruler, it'll be in the way of what I'm trying to show you. And my transparent ruler is a little too glossy. Okay, so there's our house. And it needs to have a roof. Oh, going to the wrong line. Yeah. Okay, and it's going to have a roof. There we go. Okay. So then we've got a deck that comes basically right off. We'll make that on the ground. It's bigger than the house, that deck. That's a big deck. And then we've got a garage. Comes off the house. Probably about here. So. And I'm going to use my central vanishing point. And then I'll make it as high as the house. So this is my house here. I have to make it a little less complex looking, right? So you can see it. All right, vanishing point to corners. And I think I'll get that kind of a roof. So it goes to about the middle of the house, so roof. Now things are going to be curved and weird looking. Most definitely because of that fisheye lens. So maybe we can throw a door into the garage. Right, so see how I did that? Right. All right. So we have a deck. I'm not going to erase too much because I don't want to lose what we've got. And then I've got the pool that's lined up with the deck along here. And it's going to look kind of wonky. going to have a fence along here. Now, you can draw outside this if you want. So my fence starts about the middle of this house, which is about here, to, you know, over here. So the fence wouldn't be as tall as the house. That would be the corner, I think. So I'm kind of following, I'm following along this a bit. It's outside it, but kind of along it. And I think, you know, my corner of the fence would be like over here. So I'm just sort of following this curve. And I'm going to do the same here. I don't have one in here, but it's going to be between here and here, isn't it? And then the end of my fence would probably be, so I've got the end of my garage here. Garage. It's not too far from. So if you use this as sort of a grid, you create your sort of lines between the lines a lot of the time. So, and I think it would end over here. So this is my fence, and that's my corner. That's the fence of my yard. Of my pretend yard. There you go. My trees, if I have a tree over here, he would be way over in a big beautiful tree, and I'll have another one here. I would probably have more because I like trees and we need more of them. And I've got a tree on this side of the garage, so maybe it's a big wide one. I've got one at the front of my house. Well, that's maybe foliage. Maybe I've got my tree. My tree is kind of on the other side of this ball, right? But, you know, we could have some, maybe right here we're going to have, on this corner of the house, we're going to have a garden. Maybe we'll have, oh yeah, we've got a hot tub in here. A hot tub has to come out here, doesn't it? And then more deck. We got so much going on. I think I was making a nice wide steps down. All right, we've got a barbecue. So this is the house. So, and then I think this was going to be my sort of sliding doors. So, sorry, I'm forgetting to go back to my vanishing point. And when I don't do that, I'm off a little. It's very easy to get off and wonky, so don't do what I'm doing and forget the vanishing point in the center. All right, so then I would have, say, my barbecue right here. Can you create sort of this square base, same way I did the house and the garage, and then build out. There we go. Yeah, I'm a little too sketchy. Sorry about that. There we go. There we've got barbecue. And so I'm using the lines that are here in the grid. It helps a great deal to just use those guys. And then we've got our chairs. you're kind of looking straight down at this piece, so you're not going to see as much depth here. You're not going to see as much of the legs, say. But you'll see a little bit, I suppose. I think we could show the back of the chairs a little. Okay. It's crazy. All right, so we'll have a pool with a little step in. You could draw in some stone. If you wanted to, you could draw in some chaise lounges. I don't know, some more garden. All right. Oh, and this was supposed to be the hot tub. So I'm drawing my base, and maybe the hot tub could be sunken into the deck, or it could be up a little higher, right? So it's up a little higher. Using my center vanishing point. There we go. Put some seats in there. Maybe we want to do steps in. Look like they're going to impede on the or one step in maybe. They're impeding a little bit on our barbecue. Will live though. Okay, so that's curvilinear perspective. So the grid, it may take you some time to first draw it. It's a little complicated, but you will use it. You'll use it a lot, and you can, you know, and then don't forget, like I was doing, to use your central vanishing point. To get it right, to get your perspective in there correctly. As I did with the door, I wung it and I was way off. And then when you're done, either have some fun with some shading, with some ink or pencil or color. This one would be fun with some color. Throw some green and blue in here and add a color to the deck. You know, give the roof a color and a texture, and just make it your own. Create your own plan, you know, or just kind of make it up as you go along. I found this one I made up as I went along. I was basing it on you know, like a city center kind of building. And the other one that I completely made up as I went along was this one. I've erased since the grid, but I started these shapes on a smaller grid and then popped them way out, and that was kind of fun. I could add color to this. You can do anything you want. So have fun. This is a very interesting challenge, but good for the brain, and well, good for art.